Hi, this is Tim Hinton, the Beast of the Marching Arts. I'm the host of the Marching Roundtable podcast and the creator of marchingartseducation.com. Thanks for being here at our YouTube channel. We hope you'll subscribe so you can see exclusive live interviews, plus excerpts from podcasts, webinars, and interviews from live events. This is really the best way to find out what you might want to go back to our website and see an entire conversation. Thanks for being here. We hope you'll subscribe to our channel. Hey, this is Tim Hinton. I'm talking with Christopher Brown. Christopher, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing today, Tim?
I'm doing great. So I got connected with you because you are a part of a reporter team following the Homestead Band through their journey through BOA Super Regionals up to Grand National, whatever. So let's start there and tell us about what your work is as part of this reporting team.
Well, I'm actually the senior promotions producer and drone operations manager for WPTA in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I am also one of their special photographers when we do special events and stuff like that. They send me out to get things. It happened to be nice that I travel with Homestead's band at this point in time, so I was able to get in there and get some stuff that really helped out with the story. And so yeah, it's kind of what I do on my daily life.
So are you a band parent still?
I am the head band dad for Homestead High School. I design all their props and build all their stuff. I've been that for the last 10 years. Actually, I've been head band dad for the last 8 years. I've been a part of the marching band program for the last 10 years. I've had 4 students already go through the program. I have another one in the program right now as a sophomore.
Absolutely amazing. So head band head is a lot of responsibility. What does that mean?
It means a little bit of everything. We're in charge of logistics, getting all the props and instruments together, built, things like that. Every day we're pretty much out at the school, the same time the kids are, making sure that they're taken care of, filling up, from basic stuff to filling up tires to, oh, wait, we have to add a new bar to this vibe so we can put a cymbal here. So we welded bars around our vibe so we can add a cymbal to it. So it can mean anything. A lot of times behind the scenes, I'm dealing with a lot of getting trucks in order, getting drivers ready to go, getting materials into my dads so they can help build stuff. And I've got a really good team of dads that are really good at what they do. And it's very easy for me to go, okay, I have this project I need to have done. Can you guys take care of it? And then it's just done. And that's been a blessing from volunteers for the last 8 years as head dad, but definitely for the last 10 years is the parent volunteers and the people willing to help and get people in there to do the stuff. It's definitely a humbling experience to see how many people want to hop in and help and do it. And it's just been a great experience.
Well, I mean, I think people often don't realize, if they're not in the middle of it like you are, they don't realize how many hours parents spend volunteering, helping to build things, getting the show ready, getting everything schlepped from one place to the next safely, helping the students, helping the staff. It's an incredible job. So if you're taking on that job of being in charge of those, that's another thing that people often don't think about is somebody has to organize all those volunteers. So thank you for doing all that work. Why do you keep doing this year after year? It's a lot of work.
Marching band's been in my life. Honestly, since I was a kid, I've always been a part of marching band. My grandfather was the head pit dad and in charge of Mrs. Sinowall's marching band in Gas City, Indiana, for my mother's sisters. They were all a part of that band. So I remember even as a kid, baby, going to marching band competitions, seeing the marching band and stuff like that. My mother married a marching band teacher who happened to be the assistant at Mrs. Sinowall back in the day, and then ended up moving up to was at Woodland, and then moved to Northrop. But marching band's been there my whole life, from performing in it to having a parent that was a director. So it's just one of those things where marching band's been there for me. Music's changed my life. I actually went to school for audio engineering because of music. It's just one of those things that has changed and shaped who I am. And you don't get that in a lot of different sports and a lot of different other things. There's a lot of discipline and there's a lot of stuff that people don't see, the time and work coming in. It's difficult to walk around with. I was a drummer, so it's difficult to walk around with, and a drum major, so it's difficult to walk around with a bass drum on, and you're crab walking and stuff like that, going every which direction, trying to get stuff taken care of, and you're doing it for 12 minutes, and it's constant. And the practices are hours and hours. You're carrying a 50-pound bass drum on your on you, and it's leaning forward. It's a good experience, and it helps with good work ethic throughout your life. Marching band does, and all my kids, and this is one thing I'll give it to every one of my kids, marching band has made them on time for everything. We always have a marching band time, okay? It's always 15 minutes before what you're stated to be there, okay? So if you're supposed to be there at 6, you're there at 6:40 or 5:45. If you're there later than that, you're late basically at that point in time. So marching band time has really helped me. Especially in a professional world, deadlines are very important in the news business and very important to time. Okay, time keeps going, whether you're ready for it or not. That time is going to keep on moving. So you got to be prepared and be on time and be there and stuff like that. And that's just kind of, marching band really taught me that, and it's really instilled that in my kids as well.
So you were, of course, you mentioned that you were a drummer in the band and you were part of marching band. Am I right that you were a part of some Bands of America events back in the day as well?
I was. In 1995, New Haven High School, this was their first ever Bands of America event. And that was my senior year. And I was actually a drum major at that point in time. And I'll never forget, we played at like 9:15 in the morning in the RCA Dome. And there's nothing like the RCA Dome. I was fortunate enough to walk in several times with Northrop High School with my dad's band. But when those doors opened up and that air pressure came through, it was magical, quite honestly. It was just something you're like, oh, wow, okay. And being at New Haven, we were a small band. I mean, we had probably 150 kids at that point in time, 120 kids at that point in time. And we hadn't made it to state ever. We were happy at regional or semi-state and stuff like that. And then we got to go to Grand Nationals and perform in the prelims and things like that. And it was amazing. It really was an amazing experience to be able to do that. And then sat and watched a bunch of bands perform, and just to see the caliber of bands from all over the country really put it in perspective that there's a lot of musicians out there, and a lot of really good musicians out there across the country, and bands across the country. And it was just nice to be able to do that and to experience it. It's been great for my kids to be able to experience that as well as part of Homestead. But yeah, that's a once in a lifetime if you don't ever get to do it. I think New Haven's been back one other time since that. So in all those years, New Haven's gone twice, and I was a part of one of those. And I still have the recording somewhere. I was the drum major at the time, and we're all standing in the end zone, and I call the band to attention, and you hear the judges tape you hear me over the judges tape from the booth. So you heard me scream at 10 Huck in the booth, and all of a sudden the judge goes, wow, somebody's ready. So I'll never forget that. It was an awesome experience. And it was like, I was ready to go. And you're at that point, and the band was ready to go. It was probably our best performance that we ever put on, and everybody was just excited to do it. And that's the one blessing about BOA is it's been going on for so many years. So many kids have been touched in that kind of experience, and it's amazing and it's awesome. And can't have anything more to say. It's just a great thing.
Well, thank you for sharing that. That's really, really cool. So what's really interesting is, of course, you have this long history with marching band. You are a super band dad, clearly, and then you also have this part of being on a news team and helping to cover stories. So if I understand it correctly, you help to get band stories on the news.
I try, yes. I know a lot of the directors around here. Like I said, I've been in band a long time. I know a lot of the directors. So I'm a part of a lot of Facebook pages and things like that. So when events are coming up, I try to let the news know that, hey, this is coming on, this is going on. But it's not just band. I try to do it for all the performing arts style. Our show choir is an award-winning show choir. Same with our dance team and stuff like that. They don't get the recognition that they normally would. I mean, marching band doesn't get that video coverage. I mean, you have a sports show every Friday night on all of these shows. We don't have a marching band every Saturday, or marching band show every Saturday night. We should. It would be awesome. There's enough local bands and enough bands around the country that we could do a marching band thing every Saturday night or Sunday night or whatever as a recap of Saturday. It's just one of those things I thought it was important to make sure that the other voices are being heard. So I try as much as I can. My station is very, very good at that. They listen very well. They understand, as a promotion standpoint, they understand the power of a marching band. They understand that there may be 60 kids on a football team, but you have 250 kids in a band. So they understand the power of that as well. So, but they are very in tune with the arts, and that's kind of why I've been there for 23 years now. That's kind of why I like what I do and like where I'm at and like the people I work with, because they are in tune with that. They know it's just, there's a large group of people out there that are not represented, and they try to make sure that they're represented.
Well, and clearly you've had an impact on that, because if you're reminding them to do these stories, hey, remember all these arts people out here doing all this, thank you for helping to make them aware of that, because I'm sure that's helping them decide to do more covering of all that. And it must be very rewarding for you to be a part of that team that's bringing those stories in front of people.
It is. I really enjoy it. I'm working on from when we were down there for BOA Grand Nationals, for Super Regionals, going into Grand Nationals on the 10th. I'm working on our TSR, which is a topalized special report that is strictly focused on Homestead's band and their journey. We've been now state competition 34 years in a row. We've been to state, which is we're tied for second for the longest streak in Indiana at 34, where Lewis Cass has got us beat by 37 right now. But it's good. It's fun. It's a long tradition. 34 years. That's a long time. I mean, our band director's not 34 years old. We've been going to states longer than our band director's been there. So.
Well, I think it's fantastic. So what would you say to somebody who's watching this as far as what they can do in their own community to help get more coverage for their band and for the arts?
Approach your stations, approach your local market stations, inform them. A lot of times they don't have the resources that are looking at all this extra stuff, and they just don't know about it. And that's been a big thing with us. They just didn't know that a lot of this event stuff was going on. They had no idea that Grand Nationals is as big as Grand Nationals is until I brought that out to them. It's like, look, there's 119, 116 bands from around the country, big bands, great bands. I mean, we got 8 or 9 coming up from Texas again this year, Broken Arrow, stuff like that. These are great bands, and it's great music. If the stations don't understand that or know that, because they're not most of the time a part of that, the sports people get that information out. You know when a football game is. There are all these, hey, this game's coming up. This is stuff like that. Sports people get it. The arts programs need to do a little bit better job getting that information to the TV stations or your newspapers or your radio stations. They can help bring in more people to the arts programs, because a lot of these people understand that, hey, I was in school, I was in these programs. That brings back that nostalgia, and we get a lot of that. Homestead is really good at, when we go down to state, when we leave after the state competitions, our alumni fill the whole backside where all the bands walk through, and we cheer for every band as loud as possible when they come through. We do their chants, we do whatever. We cheer for our band a little bit louder when they come through, but we also hold up the sign that says there is no finish line, because there isn't. You're still moving forward throughout your life. You're taking that stuff that you've learned on that field and you're going throughout the rest of your life. There isn't a finish line. You're going to keep moving and you're going to keep going forward. And our band has portrayed that throughout the years. Our alumni come out in full force. I can't wait to see them this weekend at State, and I can't wait to see them next weekend at Grand Nationals. And it's just, it gives you chills. And unless people know about that stuff, it's one of those things where it just kind of gets swept. Okay, well, I didn't quite hear about that, so we're too late. And get it to them early. It takes time to get a reporter to get everything together, to understand what that is, to do the story correctly, and then get it on the air. It just takes time. So you can't go the day before, that day of, hey, we're going down to BOA or State or whatever. It's going to be swept under a lot of times just because there's so much other stuff going on at that point in time, because you still got to cover your regular news. But get the information to your TV stations, your radio stations, your newspapers early. They can help you promote yourself and promote your band program and your music programs.
Well, I love that you're doing this, all these different jobs that you do, all these different roles that you're playing. I think it's fantastic that you're still involved, that you're, supporting your own family, of course, and your own program, and then that you're helping so many others in other ways. What do you want to say as we're closing this conversation?
I want to thank BOA, first of all. Thank you for putting on these competitions. It's a great experience for kids to understand this and go through this, and to be able, you can't excel if you don't have competition. You never know where you're going to put yourself, and BOA throws all that competition at you. You get all the best bands around going, hey, here we are. What do you got? And that is great, because you can excel at that point in time. You may not always win. There's normally always one winner, okay? You can't always win that, but that competition makes it excel and makes it better. To the parents, get out and be with your kids. Go volunteer. Be a part of that. You won't believe seeing these kids grow up. I've seen so many classes go through. I also teach at Purdue University, and I've seen several of my band kids that were in the band that are now in my classes, and have seen them grow up from freshman year all the way to graduating college now. And it's one of those things where it's like, get out and see what type of people they're becoming. They're becoming great human beings as part of these marching programs that are out there, dedicated their time and dedicating their basically hours and hours of time to get to the point where they are. That's dedication. That's something you don't see a lot anymore. Help in there, volunteer. These band programs and these directors need your help. Let the band directors focus on what they do well, and that's teach our children and help our children become better musicians. Yeah, said that right. Better musicians. Let them help that do that. Take some of that burden off them. That's why I do what I do. Our directors are great. Brian Warfield and Jason Witzengruder, and our design team is amazing. They come up with really good ideas. They're not logistics people. They don't know where our semis are coming in. They don't know where our drivers are coming from. They can't build A-frames with wood that supports 30 kids if they need to, okay? They're great at what they do. Let them do what they do. Get out and volunteer and help. Help them take some of that burden off so your programs become better, so your kids become better, so things just become a little bit better for everybody at that point in time. And they can't do it without parent volunteer and parent help.
You're absolutely right. Well, thank you for all of your many years of hard work and volunteering, supporting your students. Thank you for sharing your own experiences from Marching in Bands of America contest. I think that's really great. And thanks for the work you're doing supporting the arts and marching arts too, through the work you're doing in your career. So that's awesome. Thanks for talking to me today, Christopher. This was really fun.
Not a problem. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.